Hi.
Frank or Z in the chat if you can hear me. Okay. Welcome to the Q&A stream. Today we're joined with Mod Matt K.
Hello.
Mod West.
Potentially,
Hello.
if you can hear us.
Hopefully.
Mod John C.
Hello.
Mod Ash.
Hello again.
And myself, Mod Archie.
It's the third time
We're
we've
waiting
had
for
to
the
do
delay.
this.
There's the first Frank or Z. We are saved. Fantastic. We have
Excellent.
tried this stream a couple of times now. There's now audio. We're good to go. Let's do this. We have 2 sneak peeks. I've said this 3 times. We have 2 sneak peek of the weeks today. Very exciting stuff. We have a raids grouping system showcase with Mod Ash, and we have a raids rewards design showcase thing with Mod West. So
A few new items.
all right. Let's get into the questions then. First question asks, will hardcore Ironman ever be given the opportunity to earn an additional life?
What did we say last time?
We said that we could see it in about a year's time, maybe, or that given how the players responded when we confirmed that the Zulra resurrection effect would actually apply to a hardcore Iron Man, they didn't seem to like that all that much. So it could be that earning extra lives for your hardcore Iron Man would run into the same objection.
Yeah.
I don't have strong feelings either way myself, but it don't seem to be getting a lot of yes up that chat.
Yes,
No,
yeah.
I think it would generally be perceived as a very negative thing right now. I think maybe in like a year's time, like Ash said, we could possibly look at, I don't know, charging an achievement, maybe 500 mil gold or something, you know, that takes a lot of time.
Well, we can kind of downgrade them halfway. So from hardcore, they become firm core and gradually soft core. All these possibilities.
All right, well, that's that. Next question then.
Softcore Iron Man.
Snipor asks, can we get an update to Barbarian Potions? Right now, a 2-dose that heals 6 but eats like food has no use. He's proposing, allow us to make 4-dose mixes but make them untradeable. Gives a benefit to having high herb lore but doesn't affect others since they would still have to they would still have access to the tradable 2-dose mix.
I would love to do that. They've never been useful, if we're honest. And they're a cool piece of content, and yeah, doubling the dosage would probably just solve everything really, and making them untradeable is a nice little thing to attach to it. So, be interested to see what the community thinks.
If we pulled that, would it just be just an update on its own, or would it be with the reward of an achievement die or something to that effect, or what?
I think because you have to go through barbarian training to unlock the ability to make them anyway, I think it would fit to just make the change.
Okay.
Or make you do some other thing in barbarian training. I wouldn't stick it on a random diary though.
No, diaries wouldn't fit here.
But
Nice.
I'm sure Otto could make you jump through some weird hoops like everything else he ever does.
Yeah.
Have you read his dialogue?
I have. Yeah.
It's odd.
Yes, as the chat has noticed, I am not feeling fantastic, but you can understand what I'm saying.
That's why I'm sitting over here, by
Hopefully.
the way.
I mean, if I was sorry, I'm just going back to the water.
Yeah, go for it.
If I lived in a shack next to a waterfall all by myself, surrounded by some barbarians, I'd probably be a bit weird as well.
He's got a lot of high fishing experience, people to keep him company.
And
It's true.
a heavy rod.
Yeah, but no one ever talks to him. You just search his bed, steal his stuff, and then go back to fishing.
Well, you have to talk to him a fair bit, but and I think he'll hammer your Zamorak spear into a Zamorak Hastra. And he tells you to go jump in a lake.
He charges you through the nose for it as well, doesn't he?
We do like a cash thing.
He's got a lot of money in the bank.
Yeah, it's not like there's any shops in his neighbourhood.
It's true. You're a long way from the shop.
There's a feels good man spam in the chat. I don't think we can beat it. We're going to have to compose a new spam, I think. Do you have a preferred emote, Matt?
Something about
I
an
don't
arm thing,
know.
surely.
Hi, guys. Because the only one I can think of.
Can we get a hi guys in the chat? All right. YouTube's saying they can't hear us. I don't know if they can or if they're trolling maybe. Oh, all
Well,
right.
it could be
there
for a
you go.
minute or so we haven't said anything worth
There we go.
hearing.
Anyways, let me actually make a note because we liked that idea. But we will move along to the next question.
For what it's worth, that barbarian thing could take a heck of a lot of dev time to do. I've got no problem with doing it because I would really like to rip out a lot of the existing code and replace it with something nicer from one of our team rather than what we've inherited from the past. Just that would be possibly as big as the silver crafting thing that we've got at the moment that Maz is taking going to be a while on.
Right. Marnia says, along with the silver jewelry update, would it be possible to extend the gem bag from Motherlode line to include lesser gem, or even better, create a new lesser gem bag to store the uncut semi-precious gems?
It makes sense too, but mining those gems isn't exactly much of a chore because we just stuck a load more of them down the mine in Shiloh
And the
Village and there's a
bank,
bank.
didn't we?
Yeah, so And given that's the only place where you can obtain them, it might have very limited uses.
Okay. That's fair. Next question has an image, I believe. Jason says, can the Abyssal Dagger special attack be buffed? So, obviously this has been requested many times in the past, but this time we actually have a proposed change. So changing it to 35 or 30% special attack instead of 50. An ability to teleport you next to your opponent. Interesting one. Or hitting a double 8 minimum damage spec like the Dark Bow. I actually like that one.
I'd be pretty nervous about doing the teleport thing in arbitrary places, even if it is trying to do it only next to somebody that you're meleeing already. Makes you wonder exactly where you were when you started meleeing them if you need to teleport next to them. But hey, the demons do it.
I think the minimum hit one fits it quite well. I'd be interested to see what the community think.
Yeah.
Would a straw poll be appropriate, do you think?
Yeah, it would kind of have to only be for one of the options. If we agree, we'd just straw poll the minimum hit one.
Well, just do a straw poll with all the options, then have a none.
Okay.
That works.
A none.
You've got a list of the questions there?
None of the above.
Oh.
All right, we'll get a
So,
straw poll in the chat for you guys momentarily.
There's a episode of Blackadder where Baldric's talking to Blackadder and he says, my father was a nun. And he's like, what do you mean your father was a nun? Well, whenever he was up in front of the magistrates, the magistrate would say to him, occupation, and he'd say, none.
I miss Blackadder.
Oh dear. Yeah, Blackadder's great. Chris has never seen Blackadder, have you?
No.
You're from Canada, so I don't know if
This
that,
is a weekly thing.
that counts. We keep trying to educate him on British humour, but it seems to be failing.
I don't pay attention. All right. The Finkinator says, do you see raids as content that can be expanded in the future, or will it just be the same as released? That is terribly worded.
No
well,
offense.
you know what I'm saying.
If anyone
I probably
had someone
typed
to
it wrong,
screen
be
the
fair.
questions.
Yeah, but if he starts correcting the questions, they don't like it.
Yeah, they can
Will
complain, yeah,
raids
absolutely.
have changes to it in the future? Or will
It's
it?
been written extremely expandable. It
Yeah.
can plug in just about unlimited varieties of rooms and more versions of the ones we've got. There's no limit to that kind of thing, other than where people would like us to spend the dev time.
Exactly.
So, having released it, that doesn't mean we're going to then spend the next 2 months making another batch of it. On the other hand, we can, when we've perhaps addressed some other content that people would like that isn't raids, put more things in occasionally. Maybe if there's some more lore revealed involving Zarek, we could use the opportunity to have a room turn up occasion that's themed around that story.
Yeah, I'd love to. I can see it happening totally. Maybe 6 months to a year down the line, you're sort of tiring of the rage you've got and they want some more.
For that matter, once we've launched it, I'm just guessing that some of you might write in asking for some changes, because you sometimes do, and we would like to address some of that stuff, though it doesn't necessarily mean about 20 new room types straight away. But having launched it, we do expect to do some tweakage, and we will have scope to add a lot more rooms separately.
Indeed.
Right. I think we're getting that straw poll in the chat. There it is right there. Go ahead and vote. Next question then. Udi says, can the hardcore Iron Man high scores get a counter for how many total hardcore Iron Men have died?
It should be possible because we can see it from the back end of the high scores.
Can we?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome as like a live counter, just watching it scroll.
Yeah, I don't know how often it updates or if it's done by death, but
I assume it's done each time somebody logs out.
probably possible. We'll have to have a word with the web team, of course. We can't promise anything.
That'd be really cool.
5,000.
There's an additional request. We like that one. That's good. Maybe the name of the person who died with the most experience. Could we do that?
Yeah, I'm sure we can find that out somehow. Yeah, well, we said to all the we'll just ask BI to do it. They'll do
can
it.
probably get it, yeah.
Yeah, but that's a manual thing that we'd then share if you wanted it on the high scores to be able to seek out every time it happens. And you can see obviously by total level.
In theory, the high score system would know the total XP of everyone who has died, and if it were reprogrammed to start tracking this thing, then it could do it. That is, however, not necessarily going to be a quick thing for the web team.
Indeed.
How'd they get on with that API change you asked them for the other day?
I never heard back because the guy who runs it's not in this week. So, hopefully he gets back next week. But he's got the email sitting in his inbox.
Good.
All right. We've got the results from that straw poll back. So requesting a buff to the Abyssal Dagger, the special attack that is. There are a few options there, the one leading at 52%, the vast majority being the double 8 spec, so I really like that, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll stick it in a poll soon.
Yeah.
It's interesting that it's only 10% that voted for none of the above, so they do want some kind of improvement.
Yeah.
That, I think, has been fairly prevalent as a view for a long time. Getting them to agree on it has not been so easy, but this one looks promising.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Cool, good idea. All right, AQP says, can blessings from clue scrolls be added to the list of items we can put into our player-owned house chests?
Sorry, I missed the question. What's the question?
Blessings from clue scrolls, can they go in a POH chest?
Yeah, the treasure chest. I'm not sure what the actual standard convention is for not putting things in there. Is it something that has stats, maybe?
To be honest, I honestly think that back in the day it was things where they remembered, things that felt about right, you know, armour, we've made a new set of armour, let's stick it in there. I see no problem with it whatsoever, really.
Yeah, sure, we can do that. Maybe a new item where you can just put the 6 blessings on that looks like a cool tower of blessings.
Ooh.
Because we can do that now.
For what it's worth, what was the popular request the other day, or a couple of Q&As ago, was to put individual clue reward sets in, aside from just, you know, the full set.
Yeah, for that you're looking at rather more of a full rewrite of costume rooms. For adding another couple of things, you're not.
Right, a lot more difficult. All right.
I don't have a problem with doing it, but I wouldn't be doing anything else for quite a while I was doing that.
Yep. Another image here. Dragonair says, can we see an armored crossbow buff? This thread was pretty popular.
Well, I'm surprised it's got like NAF or special.
We can get that image on screen. I'm not sure if we've got it. I'm trying to remember what it was. It had an increased chance of the bolt special attack happening, maybe twice the chance. And it had there it is, and it had a 10% damage buff. Currently all it offers is a bit of an accuracy buff. It's one of the worst special attacks in the game. That's a known thing.
It's funny that back in 2013 when we were designing the thing with the polls, the first version failed a poll because people said it was too powerful. So we ran a survey, find out what people want changed. They said add a special attack. I thought, well, okay, they think it's too powerful, but they want a special attack. That's the kind of thing of poll results that lead you to write a really, really lame special attack.
Yes.
Well, with the original, or one of the first ideas to buff the armored crossbow was to say you had a guaranteed chance, or a guaranteed
Guaranteed
of,
chance.
of hitting the special attack on the bolt. Obviously, the big problem there is going to Court Beast with ruby bolts. You're going to get guaranteed, you know, right? So how big of a problem would that be if we increase the chance, I don't know, and doubled it? You think it'd be a big problem or what?
Given the DPS increase Rangers had over the last 12, well, since the armored crossbow went out 2 years ago now, I think it's perfectly acceptable balance-wise. There's a few edge cases you might want to look at, like Corpse one you mentioned. Yeah. But you'd still be better off using melee and a spear, frankly. So,
okay.
Yeah, you need to take a deeper dive.
Yeah, it could work really well then.
There's nothing immediately jumping out that scares.
Right.
I think the code's actually quite easy because I had to, well, after Modric left us, we had to do some work on those, on the diary bonus for making the effects more likely to happen. And I think while I was about it, I wrote a centralised thing for buffing them,
Nice.
which we can presumably tie into if it works the way I think it does.
Moving on. OSRS suggestion says, can Zaya get a gnome glider and hot air balloon spots? It would be a good way to integrate content to the mainland so Zaya doesn't feel so separate.
Well, there is a gnome wandering around somewhere near the port that says maybe there'll be a glider there one day. I think the gnome's having trouble with so much distance. But they recently made it to Apatoll, so...
Not enough wind. For what it's worth, the main dev challenge there is that the maps used by the balloons and also by the gnome gliders are quite custom models, and you guys will have to make us a new custom model that's got Zaya on the side of it. Given that, I think we can redesign the menu. Give them graphics time.
A lot of good suggestions today. Right?
Definitely. Hot air balloon. How many people actually travel by hot air balloon?
I think they're rather useful
One by
around the castle
Castle
as well.
is really good, yeah.
Yes.
I'm making planks and what have you.
Yeah. What I'm getting at is that if we say he's ticked off on his list so it's guaranteed in the next poll or something, then that would probably need us to postpone some other stuff, including what he ticked earlier on his list.
Yes, no, that is.
We could be going for a very long time just off of these questions so far.
It is a massive list. I haven't had time to go through.
just
I think
don't-
2 weeks now. We've got suggestions, so
Yeah, I can't guarantee
there's like
anything.
100 good quality of life suggestions.
I'll bet.
But it does help us fill out our backlog of just ideas when we do come to do a poll. So.
Okay. AQP again says, can an ALK warning be added to the soul bearer item? It's very annoying to misclick on this on a Slayer task by accident.
It doesn't need to be alcohol at all. I don't think you need the money from it in any situation. And I suspect the money's kind of... So we could just block it from being out. That's the easiest way of making it not get out by accident.
There's a request for a couple other items, I believe, the arc light,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Maybe worth looking at more than just the soul bearer.
Well, you can block people from alking pretty much anything we please. And since I see no earthly reason why they'd want to alk those, that would be the easiest way of going about it.
We just have to manually go to each item, so we need to know what they are.
Yep.
Ludai says, can we get a teleport inside of the Brimhaven dungeon added to the Slayer ring? It's a shame that this dungeon isn't used anymore.
There's a charge on it.
Slayering does, it's 875 coins, but it's not exactly difficult to get to. Having a teleport there probably wouldn't increase activity, and I'd say
Think
that
the
it
other
does still get
dungeons.
used a fair bit. It's the only place you can find Iron and Steel Dragons if you're not on a Slayer task.
And
His-
baby greens.
His
Very unique
argument, his argument is comparing it to how easy it is to get to the other Slayer dungeon,
right, yeah.
the Slayer Tower, etc. So I think it just because it's on the bottom of the list doesn't necessarily mean that it's not still easy to get to. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's not, you just have Brimhaven House Tap and you're there. 875 coins in.
Yeah. I guess you got to go through it though still.
Yeah. Catacombs, I did forget about the catacombs. Forgot we put metal dragons in there. No, I look silly, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, the baby greens are the only thing that's truly unique to it that I can think of. There could, of course, be a lot more like that if we wanted to.
Baby reds as well.
Yeah, the thing about a baby green dragon is it's like a green dragon that's not in the wilderness.
Yeah. That's right, what else is in there? And we had those dogs unaggressive, didn't we?
We did. We polled something fancy involving the hellhounds dropping a charm that wards
That's
off
right,
wild
yeah,
dogs in
yeah.
Brimhaven, but they didn't want that. They've gone to
Just want to
just
get rid of
making
the
it safe for everyone.
They were so annoying.
They were very
Probably.
annoying, yeah.
By the way, guys, Modjed is grabbing questions from the chat, so if you have any, go ahead. That being said, we will move along. Robbo says, can we get a toggle to turn off the hover tips on prayers? Gets in the way of flicking. I think there's an image for this one as well. There you go. Robbo wants togglescape.
To be honest, I want
Sorry,
to...
Robbo.
I'm okay with that because, it's ugly.
Yeah.
We joke about Toggle Escape, but I really want to create a menu at some point that centralizes all of the toggles we have in the game in the various places.
That's partly why I bothered making that notifications menu when we wanted the loot notifications the other week, because there's already things I'd have liked to put on it, and I just copied them onto it while I was making the menu for the thing we polled.
Yeah, the boss kill countless one was on the right click of the chat option. None of
Yeah.
us were happy with that, were we?
No, we just figured we'd put it there for now, and maybe there's one day there's a notifications menu, we'd move it, which we have. Well,
Yeah.
I didn't delete it off the first place it was, but I wouldn't mind doing so.
We've got some options in those menus. There's Doomsayer's got some. There's some on the right click of spell, some on the right click of chat.
I'm quite fond of having things on the Doomsayer, to be honest, because it's cool. Unfortunately, its menu is one of
Yeah,
not a very nice piece of code
for modernising.
from a developer. Yes.
All right. Another image. There's a lot of images today. Seepvo says, suggestion here, additional boot recolor options at Irsa's shoe store in Relica. There you
I
go.
can see how you made that graphic.
Yeah, I think that's a brilliant idea. There are a lack of nicely coloured boots in game.
Yeah, this is going right to the top of
Right.
the list.
It is, however, a game engine job,
Yeah, indeed.
and I would not want to see it on the engine list above some of the other things on the engine list.
Indeed.
So we'll put soon TM on that.
I mean, in the meantime, they can just wear any other boots.
In the meantime, we are recruiting for
hang on.
that
Game engine,
job
yeah.
vacancy, so please please come and join us. We're nice. I'm not always on this much caffeine. It's been a long day.
We do have on Tuesdays cheese as well, known as Cheesy Tuesdays. It is one of the biggest selling points of being in our team,
It
I
is,
feel.
yeah.
One got
big
some
lumps of
amazing
cheese.
in.
I don't know. 3 of us in this room don't take part in Cheesy Tuesdays.
Yeah, well, you know, that's your
Lithuanian
decision.
smoked sausage Tuesday worked out quite well too.
Oh, that was brilliant. Next Tuesday, I'm going to get some meats in as well.
We have to on Monday, Meaty Monday.
Meaty Monday.
Meaty Monday,
Well,
Cheesy Tuesday.
You want meats with your cheeses, though?
I'm gonna bring in some
Wine.
American cheese. I'll bring in like Cheese Whiz, and then you guys
It's not
can
cheese.
try that.
Cheese whiz means something else in this country.
Does it?
No, it shouldn't
No.
do.
American cheese is not cheese. It's just plastic that's had some like
Cheese
acid
flavouring.
come
Why
out of it.
I'm not part of this
I
conversation.
had a rather nice sharp cheddar that was made in Vermont when I was last in Florida. It,
No, I brought back some, didn't I? And it was, that was made in Maryland, wasn't it?
It was bright
That's quite
orange.
nice.
It was it glue in the dark.
Yeah, it was quite nice, that was. I thought I'd go to the shop and I said, I'll have that lump of cheese, please, because, you know, the guy looked at me quite strangely because it was about this big, this big round thing of cheese, and he thought it was quite odd that I was buying that much cheese. But I said, I've got about 20 people back in the office who like eating cheese, so I can take some cheese back.
where is it you went that you got the humongous biscuits the size of a wagon wheel?
that
That was Sweden, yes,
Young
yeah.
chopping.
And they have crackers like this. You have them for breakfast, holes in the middle, so they can put them on large poles. I don't know why. That's what they do in Sweden.
In
But
case
it's quite
that word's
wonderful.
unfamiliar, cracker as in large biscuit.
Yes,
Yeah, that cheese was awesome.
yes. The stuff from Sweden, that was quite good. They have cheese bars in Sweden for breakfast.
I brought back a great it's cheese infused with like bacon from Norway, but I never made it to the office because I ate all of it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sounds good.
I was in Ely the other day, and they had a cheese thing in Ely, and they had bright green cheese, pesto chease.
Oh, I saw some of that. It just looks unappetizing. Like,
It does, yeah. I wouldn't want to eat
It
that
looks like
cheese.
vomit. And
Yeah, I stayed away from that cheese.
piques your interest a bit though.
Yeah,
The answer to the next question off that is please, I'd like to get that done
yeah.
I
With
won't
engine
even
support.
bother asking it then.
with engine support.
We're just
That applies to a lot of things. but-
They're going to be curious
favourite
till the end
We
of
need to add more
time.
cheese to the
They'll
game.
never find out what the question was.
We do give that answer to a lot of things, unfortunately.
What's your
I'm gonna
favourite
ask
cheese,
it.
Connor?
Uh, Piplup says, can pets be right-click only? A lot of people have their pets banked when skilling because they don't want to misclick them.
I believe we bumped that one up our...
We did suggest that we'd really like the remaining engine staff of the company to do that one for us. Pretty pleased. They have not, however, been able to offer the time to do it so far.
It was only yesterday, I think, wasn't it? So.
Well, I told them I'd rather have that than the other thing they were thinking of.
Can we zoom in a bit on that chat? There we go. All right. I think we'll do maybe 2 more questions before we send Modash over. The sneak peek. Another image here. Rabbit says, oh no, sorry, there shouldn't be one for this one. Rabbit has a suggestion saying, flashing calls in Barbarian Assault to let you know when call is changing.
I like the idea of that one.
We made it change colour some
We
time
did
ago.
make it change colour until you had transmitted it to the rest of the team. However, I think, well, one suggestion was that we make it play an audio sound. Turns out not everyone has the sound on, so maybe they'd like it to do something visual on screen at the same time.
Could you make it flash? That's
I can make anything flash,
We'll make it flash. Maybe add the audio thing as well, for those that do have
because
it.
we can.
Yeah.
All right. Osweezedo says, how rare will Dragon Claws be from raids?
TBD. Balancing still to come. They will be rare.
I think it'd be a very bad idea to say,
Yeah.
we're going to make them worth 80 mil. Because if they're released and they're either 300 mil or like 5 mil, they could be like, you lied.
I mean, that's the thing. We don't determine how much they're worth. That's really down to the players and supply and demand. But we're not going to be flooding the game with them, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, what we do is we stick in a price initially when they come out into the
Yeah.
GE, which is a best guess really more than anything.
Always has been.
I think
Yeah,
based
They
on
settled
previous...
at like 30 and then eventually 15 for a good while.
Something they told me back in, well, 2009, 2010, when we were kind of getting to grips with having a GE still, was that if you stick out a new item on the GE with an initial price that's really high, it can come down quite easily to what players want to pay for it. Whereas if we stick it out quite low, it doesn't go up very fast at all because nobody feels like being the first to put a higher price in as the offer. So policy at the time was to put things in absurdly high because players could get them to come down by trading it in a way that couldn't go the other way so easily.
Yeah. Oh, the Drygors.
Safe to say the first clause,
Sorry, Timbo.
the first few clauses to come out will probably sell for a massive amount.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
But
hundreds
I
of
am
millions,
curious what the
bet,
chat thinks. What do you guys think clause will settle down to in price? Because obviously well, if you played in the Last Man Standing high stakes weekend, you maybe got to try them out. I got a couple pairs myself. You watched somebody streaming who was using them. You used them in the tournament worlds as well, so they have a decent idea of just how useful they will be. So that can kind of give you an idea of maybe what they'll go for.
Those 73 mils?
Yeah, between 30 50, it seems to be a lot of people are spamming in there.
I mean, back in the day, they were worth roughly around 35 non-stop. I expect Kieran to correct me if I'm wrong, because I remember him doing a lot of Demented Demons. But the economy wasn't in too dissimilar a state around 2008 from where ours is, so anywhere between 30 to 50 seems about right. But I can see that first pair going for anywhere upwards of 200 mil.
I want that first pair.
How much money have you got?
Not enough.
How much did you spend on the Ballista on day one?
Did I spend on it? About one. I didn't lose it, so.
Oh, I thought you.
Right. I spent like 70 mil, but then I gave it to the guy back. So.
Oh, fair.
Anyways, all right. I think we're gonna send Modash over for his raids grouping preview. While he gets set up, we'll answer one more question though. Pedar says, "What is the worst drop rate luck you've ever seen? I am 23,000 kill count Abbey Demons without a head drop."
That 23,000. As Bib Demon head is what, 1 in 6,000 or something. So that's not that bad. What's the worst we've seen?
The worst was the guy that got the mole pet.
The mole
Yeah,
pet was recent. That was over 20,000 kills.
That was 20,000
It
kills.
was also
yeah.
funny how he just made the shrine and then he got it.
Curtis's Dragon Warhammer was pretty iconic, but that wasn't like the worst we've ever seen. I'd actually be really curious. Who was the most unlucky player?
I think the worst I've seen, it was a friend of mine way back in, I think 2009. He wanted to camp corp until he got a divine at Free For All. And he was there for the best part of a year, doing 18 hours a day at corp. And he got non-stop spectrals. He even changed his name to Spectral. I don't know what his kill count was, but he killed a lot of them.
Aloha got his Dragon Warhammer after 20k apparently. Oh, I'm really curious now. Okay.
Why is everyone saying a friend? What did a friend not get in a suitable amount of time?
Oh, you said a friend.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
that's why I said
right,
friend.
A friend.
Toby does.
Yeah, we're acknowledging he exists.
Did we not do that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I'll tell
You
I'll
said
tell you
a friend of
afterwards.
yours.
We are
had really
good
bad
to
luck.
head over to Modash.
Yeah, no, it was
so
a friend of
we're-
mine. That was a different. Then everyone else was saying probably that. So
We're going to go over to Modash now.
Hello. So what we've got here is a little bit more of the temple at Mount Quidamortem, the ruined temple, in fact, the not yet built temple of Xeric that he and his followers built after he'd left the city. Pardon me, need more tea. Right, I can talk again. So, what we've got here is the recruiting board. This is still a placeholder graphic. I just cobbled this together from what I think is the Rimington wall kit and Shadian notice board. And it's the party recruitment menu. Looks a bit more fancy than last time you saw it, unless you've been looking at my Twitter because I put out a preview last night. And it lists all the parties that are currently recruiting publicly. There aren't any at the moment, so I will make one. Right, here's my party. It shows all the people in it. At the moment, there's just me, Oddmod Ash, with my combat level and my skill total. Hello.
Tweak your webcam a bit so they can see everything.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
Everything.
that is not your webcam. Shh, leave me alone.
I'm having my webcam tweaked.
Maybe, if you'll let me. There we go.
Oh,
Professional. There you go.
thank you. Now I'm over there. Right, thanks. So here we have the thing, and I can set whether or not the party is being advertised publicly. So I would like it, well, currently it's not advertised, but advertised now it is. And here it appears on the list of public parties. Now let's see another party start. I'll bring in my other account, who is a happy dev, who will make her own party. and now it's advertised, so Oddmod Ash can see it and can look at the list of parties, sorting them by the number of people they've currently got, sorting them by the leader's name, and various other things besides. So in my party, I'm going to say, I'd like to get a party of, I don't know, 7. And I don't really want anyone in my party who's got a combat level less than 120. And I don't really want anyone in my party who's got a combat level less than, a skill total less than 1,000 or so, picking numbers out of thin air. Looking back at this, I can now see that my party has these details. And if Happy Dev, excuse me while I type a minute, sets similar things, Happy Dev has now set some of these things as well. I can sort by them, ascending, descending, as I wish. Oh, and you can also see the party age and sort by it. That's a simple little clock that remembers when the party was formed, so that if you're looking through the parties that are recruiting and you think there's been one that's been sitting there for about an hour, well, maybe you might think that party's not going anywhere, so you'd rather not trouble yourself with it. And if you've got another party there that's been recruiting for only half a minute, you might think that's just give it more time to be established before you pay any attention to it. So we let you sort by that as well. Now let's see. Happy Dev wishes to, I think, join Oddmod Ash's party. So I'll just make that happen over here. And refreshing, we find that Happy Dev's party has gone and mine now has 2 players in it. So let's have a closer look in them. Right, so we can now see that we've got a party size of 2, we've got a preferred party size of 7. That's not a hard limit, by the way. More people would be able to come in and have themselves reviewed to see whether you like them in your party or not. But you also see the combat levels in this column, which you can sort, are showing in red. That's because neither of us actually meets the preferred combat level. And I might think, this guy doesn't match my preferred combat level. Let's look at his stats. So I look at his stats and think, yeah, we've got all these stats. Nah, don't like him. Compared to me, yes, we can see anyone's stats in this party and sort by their skill total and combat level, and maybe decide that's a silly requirement. So, now they don't show in red. Something in between. Now it only shows one of them in red, and it's me, because I turn out to be the noob in this party as well as the owner. And I can decide, I don't like this guy. I'll check his stats again. Yeah, no, he's gone. And he's gone. Looking back at the menu, now I've only got one person, and you can see that I've been recruiting for nearly 5 minutes. And if that person, Happy Dev, decided to try and rejoin the chat channel, they'd find they're not able to, because chat channels don't let you back in again straight after you've been kicked. So you've got the same protection against people, spamming themselves in and out of your chat channel as you normally do. Unfortunately, that means I can't use them again to show you any more stuff, so I'll just log in another account. This one's one of John's, actually. Hope you don't mind, John. Well, yeah, I figured he wouldn't mind, because I was using it all yesterday evening to take the screenshots for the tweet I put out. C1. It was the first one to still have membership on it. Right. If I refresh now, I got 2 people. John, who has not such great stats, but I'll let him off. He had fine stats until I went and modified his account before doing this demo with it. I'm now thinking, there's people joining I don't want to see it, so I'll delist myself from the public list, and now I'm not on it. Or change my mind, want to advertise myself again, I'm back on it. And also anybody who doesn't match my preferred combat level or preferred skill total, they won't see my party on the public list unless they're already in it. So I'm only advertising to people who match my preferences. Now you might reasonably think, why don't we just say it's not a preferred combat level requirement, it's a hard combat level requirement, and you can't join the party at all. Yeah, I'm afraid the chat channel system was never really designed to handle that. Frankly, it wasn't designed to handle raids at all, but it's the most suitable grouping system we've got available to us. And I personally would rather give you something you can use in the immediate future, rather than put it off for 2 years, 3 years in the hope that the engine might have more features by that time. Especially as if we did get a more specific grouping system like RS3 has now got for their dungeoneering, we'd still be able to retrofit it to this if we got one of those. Anyway, so I've got my party of 2 people, and I've decided, I'm going to give up on getting 7 people. Let's have a look. Yep, now I've got the right number. It shows in red to indicate that I'm not really recruiting anymore at the moment. But at any point I can decide I'm going to step into the dungeon. Other people can't do this. It has to be the leader who takes the first step into the dungeon, and of course there is a warning, because if you leave items in there, you cannot retrieve them, and you may be ejected at any time if somebody kicks you from the chat channel. Which, by the way, is how you get rid of leechers and griefers if you find you've gone partying with one of those. So when I accept the warning, in I go, and I can see my party. John C1 is shown in grey because they haven't actually made it into the dungeon yet. Come on, John, come on. He's got to accept the warning as well, and John has arrived. So his name is now shown in orange because he's arrived. I'm going to put some more information on this. I should be able to get your skill total and combat level on it quite easily so that you can see the approximate quality of those in your party. And when the party leader is ready to begin, they can choose to, where's the way out, start the raid. At this point, the party is sealed. No one else may join it, although people can quit if they want to. I'm going to log out and see what happens. So I disconnected during a raid, and here I am back in the same instance with John, who has in fact become the party leader because he was the most senior person present after I disconnected. So he will now be in charge of the party. But he started it, so I can go raiding. Let's see what's through here. I'm not going to try and show you a whole dungeon because that could take blinking ages. But, oh yeah, one of these rooms. Can I go through? Nope, I really cannot. Let's try that again. Nope. No, I don't think they like me. I think we might have to come back to that another time. Anyway, that's where we've got to with the grouping system up in the lobby. I hope you like it. I may be able to build in a few more features, but ultimately I'm going to have to move on at some point and get on with the rest of the dungeon content. So, thanks. Back to the couch.
Beautiful, beautiful grouping system, isn't it?
It is quite fantastic. Showed me it yesterday, and I was thinking, okay, I'm Reddit. I'm gonna pick something out of this I don't like, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, I don't have anything. I don't know what they can possibly request that you haven't already offered. So, hold on.
Well, you know, it can't sort by magic level or compare everyone's runecrafting level simultaneously, but the bit where you can at least see, you know, the stats of anyone in your party while you're recruiting gives you a lot of power to decide you don't like somebody and hoof them back out again. And being able to advertise or not, or advertise only to people with a decent combat level, will hopefully do quite a lot of useful things to you. See, there's been some changes around here since I went over there.
There's a lot of people saying as well that what they just saw was too dark. I've spent most of the day inside raids today, and it's not too dark at all.
Yeah,
I think
It's quite nice. I think it's probably the stream.
the brightness was down.
Well, I might have set the brightness to be minimum because I like the atmospherics, but you've got a brightness setting for that. You'll be fine. The menu itself, I do think it's a little bit heavy on the grey and orange. I know that grey is our standard interface background and orange is our standard text colour, but I'm thinking yellow.
Purple.
Could be. No.
Red.
Green?
More red.
I tried red, it looked worse.
What about blue?
Always available.
A nice stripe, maybe a tartan coloured one.
Yes. Well, we shall see. I'm not much of an artist myself, and programmer art is always a bit of an iffy thing, but we might be able to make it look a bit less gloomy on the interfaces.
All right. Well, we're going to get through as many more questions as we can before we send Mod West over to do his sneak peek of the week, which is the Raids rewards.
One of them's a hat.
So, we are down here with this question from Personal, who says, can we please have hunter experience added to chompy hunting? It doesn't need to be anything good, even 50k XP per hour makes grinding them less painful.
I like that as a concept. I think just bolting it on is probably not the right way to go about it. It would need fleshing out a little more. But
It's worth noting that the quest itself has no hunter requirement because it came out a long time before hunter, which
Yeah.
means that any XP we were giving would have to be appropriate for a level 1 player.
exactly. But there's certainly something to explore there.
Maybe they don't like the 50k an hour, but
Yeah.
A token amount is not something warriors at all. And the funny thing is, since there's a kind of chompy kill count that goes up to, well, up to the expert ogre, expert dragon archer, or whatever it's called, and it keeps counting beyond that for no apparent
It
reason.
does, yeah.
We might even be able to give people XP retroactively. Of course, if they've never done any hunter and they've done that quest and got themselves an amazing hat out of it, they might log in and find they're now like level 50 hunter out of the blue. And they
Yeah, I
might
can
like
see
that.
that not going down too well somehow.
Yeah.
There might be a 1 hunter pure.
Yeah.
Chevrolet there says, why not scale by hunter level? We can do that.
Yeah.
It's a funny way of giving XP, of course, but it's not unheard of in RuneScape.
Yeah, indeed, yeah.
I think in Classic, the amount of XP you got for lighting a log went up by 1 for every level you had. I have no idea why.
We'd have to be careful though. We wouldn't want to make it the go-to thing for 1 to 99 hunter.
No.
But low-level hunter itself certainly needs some help.
Blue Jake has asked, is it a safe death inside? 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 Yes, 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 yes.
no. Which one did he say? no?
However, you will drop any raid-specific items you had in there. So Matt went in there the other day and got himself some interesting herbs, and then died while trying to type on his potato or something. And the
That's what herbs do,
that he-
yeah.
well, the herbs he picked up in there, he dropped them, but all his other armour, all the stuff he brought in from outside, which turned out to be Avers and
Avers in the
Head Squad
book of some
sigil.
description, yeah.
Yeah,
That was
and the
what I
monkey
did.
speak amulet.
Yeah.
He kept those.
Well, last thing I did on my test account was Monkey Badness too. So,
That's how busy you've been for the last 6 months.
oh yes, yeah, quite.
Yeah, we don't actually employ him to do testing as such.
Yes, exactly.
But what you do lose on death, along with any raid-specific items, is reward points. You'd lose a lot of your rewards entitlement through dying, and the party would lose some rewards entitlement as well. So it's in your interests, and everyone's interests, not to have a lot of death going on.
Indeed.
It's generally a good rule to live by.
Well, if you stop living by don't die, you die.
Right. Moving on. Threw It Up says, can it be made so that the Holy Wrench effect of the prayer skill cape works while it's in your inventory, not just when it's equipped?
Easy.
Why don't you just use the wrench at that point?
That's also true. Well, it's one more item to have in the bank,
Okay.
so fair enough. But yeah, we can do that.
I think I centralised all those bonuses as well to make it even easier to do.
Nice.
Fear Itself says, to enter the Brimhaven dungeon, players must pay Sandy Botch 875 coins. Can we have a coffer made via construction that can be placed outside in case you forget your coins on a Slayer task?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's sensible.
We could do
With
one
a
better. Oh,
Oh, I was going to say something about dead man restrictions, but whatever.
I think we should do one better and have a huge one-off payment for eternal access.
Have to be really huge to be a decent cash sink.
I think it was around the million.
Yeah, 875,000.
People saying no. Ooh. Wow.
Okay.
Too
No.
many coffees.
You forget coins, you pay.
No, you forget coins you can't pay.
All right.
Of course, if we take the previous suggestion of having teleport straight in, the coffer could automatically.
We could release a huge one-off fee and then release a teleport
Yeah.
after they've paid it.
Yeah, I like that.
Sounds good. Right. Where are we here? Just Another says, I am colorblind, and the hardcore Iron Man helm icon looks the exact same as the regular Iron Man icon. Could you please make it slightly darker? I'm sure other colorblind people are having this issue. I have a lot of support.
We should be able to tint that. We have some software available somewhere as well to verify it before it goes out. Sorry.
Does that mean the armor looks the same as well?
Armor's got a totally different colour.
different shape,
Good
isn't it?
question,
Yeah.
actually. Maybe, I don't know.
Armour's just a recoloured ultimate armour, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
Just recovered.
the
Might have
icon
changed
itself
the
is just
picture
one
on the
colour, whereas that's shaded, so it might be
Yeah,
different.
it's true.
We should be able to tint it.
Cool.
Well, that's how we got the icon in the first place, by tinting the last one. We
Well,
can tint
yeah.
it some more. Yeah.
Find that software.
Let's see, I'm going to jump around a couple of questions here. What do we need to get in this week, no matter what? Maybe another one for Connor, actually. Brennan says, can you make the animations of the Elder Maul similar to how the Chaotic Maul used to look?
Yeah, I had a lot of suggestions for that. I was actually thinking of maybe you use it in the same way, the same like attack animation, but I wanted to try a different held animation that made a bit more sense. Because you hold it like this, don't you, the Chaotic Maul?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's over his shoulder almost.
Yeah.
See, you're going to get some people who are going to say, I love that animation, I want exactly that. But then you get some people saying, like, I want it to be entirely different from RS3. It
Yeah.
has to be its own unique thing, so you have fun trying to please
Initially, I
people.
did have it just on his shoulder, like two-handed, and then I just tried out the anchor animations, but they were never final. So yeah.
Right.
Do you have any questions about the rework?
There wasn't a single one.
Really? I've got loads.
Oh.
Like, and I work here. What does that arrow mean on top of Zerek's outpost? There is like an
Oh, I
arrow.
s-
If people
I saw
were
that
wondering,
one, but-
if people keep tweeting me about it.
Is it a crack the clue hint?
Is it the smiley face? What? Who made the smiley face?
I made a smiley face. It was an accident. I made like a...
No, it wasn't an accident.
Well, okay, it wasn't a complete accident, but I made like the mouth. I was like, oh, that looks sort of like a smiley face, and I just put the two like vents there for the eyes, and I thought that was funny. And yeah, I was amazed how quickly people find these things. But yeah, I've had quite a lot of fun just putting like these little
Easter eggs on the world map.
Easter eggs
Yeah.
in the game.
Or West egg in your case.
I see you had some fun with the
Do you know-
dialogue for the guards for the western exit of the city. I enjoyed that one. I
Yeah.
didn't know you did it until it went out. That was brilliant.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm slightly sorry to lose the Haymaker's arms
yeah,
hub, though.
yeah. It was. I could have moved it, but it was just. Yeah, I mean, where it was currently located was in the middle of the riverbed, well, the river mouth. So
Yes, that would be awkward for a pub.
to remove it. Yeah.
See, I didn't have full context when I heard you guys talking about that earlier. So until I saw that Reddit thread, there was like a 45-minute period where I assumed the Haymakers had actually closed.
Oh, no, it's a perfectly good pub in Cambridge,
we
by
have
the
a
way. I
local
recommend it.
pub called it, and I thought that would close. And I saw that Reddit, I was like, oh, that makes more sense.
Ah, yes. But it's just slightly unfortunate because I've got, well, the girl who worked there, she's got two sisters who keep talking about her. So one of them says, well, yeah, if you go in that direction, you'll get to my sister's pub. And the other one's got, not just that, she's got a great long rant about how she used to work in her sister's pub and she got fired for bringing Zamarakians into it. So either she needs to really restructure her history, or we put the sister back in the other pub as a bartender there.
Yeah, I'll do that.
We don't need the whole pub back.
I wanted to put it in either another Zaire expansion into like further parts of the area. Yeah, fine with that.
Did we lose the drunken farmers who were in this as well?
Yeah, but I mean the NPCs were the same in the other pub as well.
Yeah, but I think they talked about something different.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, one of them was talking about a great harvest, and the other was talking about a prize bull. I read a lot of AI for drunken NPCs ranting at each other. In the Loverkinge area, there's some dwarves ranting drunkenly about his uncle's bushy beard. And how his wife could use it as a blanket in the winter.
That's a big beard.
It was a big beard.
What was your favourite part to work on?
I really like just making the new sort of areas, so the new settlements around the Wintertodd as well as the Land's End part. So just putting a few NPCs in there that are new.
I like those. You made one really dangerous, like ice swarms and ice giants.
Yeah. I wanted, yeah, there was no other place with, well, apart from White Wolf Mountain and the Night Sword cave. There's no other ice giants. I thought, at that point, there's pretty much all other giants on there, so I thought I'd just finish off.
Yeah,
by heading.
level 132 ice wolves was a little bit dangerous though.
Oh, were they?
I almost died of the J mod because I was
I didn't realise they were that level.
wasn't paying attention.
So what was it you wanted to show us on the stream?
Rage rewards.
Oh,
There's a nice segue.
Yeah, let's do that.
Should I
Let's do that.
Sorry, Chris.
It's all right.
Oh, that was perfectly done until Chris got involved.
Yeah.
We wait for Mod West to set up. He's going to be showing you guys the revised raids rewards from last week and then some. I'm going to go for one last question, I think, this week. Coffee says, the Hardcore Iron Man Firsts page is very cool. Will we get to see other updates like this in the future for stuff like raids, or is it strictly restricted to new game modes?
I hope so, because it is cool.
Yeah, well, the content's got to fit it. Raids.
First person to kill each boss, first person to get items and drops. Is it as exciting?
the funny thing about being the first person to kill a raids boss is that ideally they wouldn't be a person, they'd be up to 100
Oh, exactly,
people.
yeah, absolutely.
It fits perfectly for a new game mode, especially Hardcore IMM, where you want to highlight the things that are incredibly dangerous to do. But yeah, if we can think of some cool places to put them, I'd love to.
What we were talking about with raids, which again we're not going to be able to do for raids, is to have the quickest raid and have a timer that counts down on the website. So you have a list of quickest times. But I think we mentioned it last week, didn't we? Having the high scores count down rather than up is a lot bigger job than one realises.
Yeah, the web team never designed it to handle that. What we can do, we think, is show, well, raids that have taken place on that world since it booted up. And if we were to, I don't know, only have certain worlds permit raiding, like all the odd-numbered ones or all the even-numbered ones, so as to help people find each other more easily, or if we just did it on the official recommended world, that could get you some interesting data to compare to other people. Of course, listing again whose party it was is all very well, but they may not have been the person who did all the work to get to the bottom of the dungeon.
Exactly, yeah.
We could have a timer though, just a standard timer for one's dungeon that's going along.
There's going to be.
Yeah, so I'm sure they'll happily post their fast times across the internet and let them compare themselves.
And at the end of the dungeon, it will say how long it was from the moment somebody pressed start to the moment the Olm's head finally goes down for the last time, or whatever it actually does.
I don't know, there's nothing, even Kieran's losing how many animations he's got. He's actually asleep. Kieran's actually asleep at the side of the stream.
Well,
It's, yeah.
I think Mod West might be ready for us.
segue.
Okay, hi everyone. So I'll go through the rules I showed up last week first. So this is the dragon sword. So I've changed the held position to be the same as the dragon longsword, as the previous position was a bit boring. As you can see there, I've changed the topology. I made it a bit thinner. I've had a little spike. I think I added that spike. Don't know if that was there last week. I don't know. But that is how it's currently looking. I mean, it's a small sword, so there's not really much you can do with it. So, and next. Yes, exactly. Okay, so this is the revised twisted bow. I went through lots of polls over the week, and just kept running straw polls on Twitter. And this is the final design. This is what was voted on after various changes. So as you can see, it's lost the shape that everyone claimed looked like the circle, and now it's just more of a long bow shape, as well as the colours got toned down and replaced like the main whites with blacks, and toned down the greens so they're not as fluorescent, and they're more in line with the Robin Hood hat and the Ranger cape, so, and the Bacasians, as they all sort of have that sort of colour scheme. Cool. I also changed the buckler a little bit. The inventory item's still the same. This still isn't final either. As you can see, people kept calling it the cabbage shield, which I guess I can see the green swirl. Let's try to find a better angle. Oh, no, one doesn't exist. Okay, so yeah, I've changed the shape quite a lot. Instead of having the sort of deformed shape, it's just gone for a normal buckler shape, but this could still change based on future feedback. So next, let's put on some melee gear. Is that everything? And this shield. So I've showed this off on Twitter, so if you follow me on Twitter, you've already seen this. Again, this went through a lot of polls. They decided, everyone on Twitter and Reddit decided the shape and the final design, and then I've made it in game, and everyone seemed pretty pleased with it. So as you can see, it's got an eye. It blinks.
Can you run with it?
Yep, you can run with it. So that's the walk animation, and then the run animation is... He can't see where he's going, but he's got an eye on the shield, so it's all right. And finally, the attack animation. This was really fun to make as well. So he blocks with it, and he attacks with it. I really like the block, but try not to kill them straight away. There you go. When he blocks, he sort of slams it into the ground, which is really cool. Cool. Yeah, a lot of people were spamming Brawl. A lot of people were sending me lots and lots of different kind of like pictures of other shields, and that was one of them, and it did look really cool. And okay, next one. So the Dragon Hunter crossbow, I made this on stream last week and showed it off just in the editor, but you never saw it in game. I did post it to Twitter, but I just thought I'd put this one in there as well, just so everyone can see it. And what else we got? I've not made any changes to them all yet, so that's still a work in progress. And finally, let's put on some magic gear. And that one. So this is the new robes coming with raids. So this is the ancestral robes. So this will be new best in slot. So as you can see, I've gone for a lighter sort of good colour, so like more Saradomin colours. I got the colours from the Magic Cape, so it's all consistent. And as a best in slot, I think this looks really nice. Compared to the previous one where it was like Aram mixed with the Third Age, which was a bit clashy, but yeah, I like how this turns out. And I really like it. It's probably one of my favourite sets so far. I went with the big pointy hat. I took the hat from Surok. I kind of like took it, recoloured it, maybe changed the topology a little bit, made it a little bit more diamondy from the top, and just made it fit the rest of the robes, because everyone's been wanting that sort of hat for so long, so I really wanted to give that. And sort of stray away from hoods, because we've got so many hoods in the game already. So yeah, that is, I believe, all the rewards I'm going over this week. So yeah, cheers for watching.
I hadn't seen that mage outfit. Oh,
That's nice, doesn't
it's
it?
so nice.
It's beautiful.
Done a good job
Well
there.
done. I really like that shield.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we're just about out of time. I'll give you guys a quick reminder. The first list for the Hardcore Iron Man thing is still very much going on. There's the vast majority, yet some of which I don't think will be completed in maybe a year's time. There's one for First Ellie, for example.
Billion GP
A
as well.
billion GP.
be
But there are
nice.
some easier ones that have not been taken yet. I think there's a first Zulrah kill for Hardcore Iron Man. I think that's going to be the next one to go. So if you have a Hardcore Iron Man and you're up for it, by all means.
Got skill specs.
Did we have the Eternal Glory in there?
We
Did,
do that?
yeah, I think we
For
do,
that
yeah,
now, First Eternal Glory. That's a
Might be worthwhile
very
putting a link
dangerous
to the
one.
page in the chat if you've got it.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to like track how many glories they've actually tried to get it with as well. Because if they just got on their first one, that's like incredibly lucky. But if it's like their 1,000th one, it'd be like, that's risky.
It is multi,
Yeah.
so like yeah. Good luck. There you go. That being said, guys, I think that's going to just about conclude our stream this week. So thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next week.
Take care. Bye-bye.